Hey, it's Rob here with another data tip of the week. This week we're going to talk about visualization. We could do a whole series basically on good practices in visualization, but I want to touch on a high level point, which is what's the purpose of a visualization? And remember that it's to communicate an idea. Okay, so I've laid out on the board here, I have a sample data set. Let's just say we polled a bunch of people and asked them what their favorite food was, and they all came back with a response that was one of these. All right, so if we wanted to show this, a good example would be a bar chart. And by default, when we think of a bar chart, we think of a vertical one like this. But this is not necessarily the best way to communicate this information. It's very hard for us to really spell out the full name of the label unless we did a horizontal or a vertical display or had the font be really small. Remember, when you're showing a visualization, when someone's reading a visualization, they're going to start at the top left and they're going to read it like a book from left to right and then from top to bottom. So if we wanted to, it really depends on what we want to communicate here, okay? So let's say we wanted to show which were the top responses in the poll. So basically we can turn the visualization sideways and we can do a horizontal chart. And we can do it one of two ways. This way here shows us the rankings in order. So we see chicken, salad, fish, and beef. Now maybe you don't necessarily want to communicate what the top result is. You want it to be easy for your audience to see a certain result. Well, then we can keep it in alphabetical order, but we still do a horizontal chart here because it's easier to see the full label for each bar here. So think about this in terms of how you're presenting it. Are you presenting it in a PowerPoint or a package for your board? You want that person, you want that audience to be able to get the answers that you want them to get out of it as soon as possible without a lot of cognitive burden. You don't want them to think about what the message is that you're trying to convey. And if it's part of a presentation, you don't want them to be looking at the chart, trying to interpret it, and not really listening to what you have to say. So give some thought to that when you're building out your visualizations, and that's this week's tip.